Hi, welcome back to Sunday School in a Bag. I'm Trish. Today's story is about how Jesus' followers are strong, even in the hard times. So before we get started, let's get all of our supplies. Get out your Sunday School bag, and in it, you're going to need to find the packet that says Paul and Silas. It looks like this. Did you find it? And then you're also going to need one of the white pieces of paper. It's pretty heavy. And you're going to need some crayons or some markers too. When you've got all that, pause the video, and when you've got all that, come back. All right, now before we start, we're going to say our opening prayer. Loving God, be with us today. Amen. Today's story, Paul and Silas, is on page 536. Today's story, Paul and Silas, is on page 536. Paul and his friend Silas traveled all over telling people about God. Sometimes people were happy to hear them, but sometimes people grumbled. Who do they think they are? God isn't like they say. One day, town leaders grabbed a pair. One day, town leaders grabbed the pair and started to make fun of them. The things you are saying are lies. How do you know that Jesus is the Son of God? Bah! Away with you. Paul and Silas were arrested and thrown into jail. It was a very dark night, but they weren't afraid, not one little bit. They knew God was with them. Paul and Silas prayed, sang, and clapped their hands late into the night, until suddenly, rumble, rumble, crash! There was a huge earthquake. It shook the jail so hard the doors opened and the chains fell right off the prisoners. The earthquake woke the jailer, who quickly ran to the jail. When he got there, he called, "Is anyone still there?" Paul yelled out, "Don't worry, we're all here." It was then the jailer knew that God was good and Paul and Silas were good people. They didn't leave when they had the chance. He wanted to know more, so he asked Paul, "I want to believe in God. How do I be saved?" Paul told him all about Jesus. "If you believe," Paul said, "then you will be saved." The jailer believed. To thank them, the jailer took Paul and Silas home and fed them. In the morning, the leaders apologized to Paul and Silas for arresting them and let them go. Once again, Paul and Silas traveled all over telling people about God. What do you think Paul and Silas had when they went to the jailer's house for dinner? I don't know. It'd be very interesting to find out. Maybe they had some fruit and maybe some nuts and maybe some kind of meat. If you have friends over, what kind of food do you eat? That's going to be our first activity. Get your leaflet that says Paul and Silas. And on the front here, we're going to do the activity that says feeding your friends. So what kind of things would you serve your friend when they came over? Maybe some of your favorite foods or maybe some of their favorite foods. Take the time right now to draw some pictures of what you think you would serve when your friends come over. So on my plate, I drew some spaghetti noodles and some sauce and a meatball. And I did some cherries because I love cherries, and a brownie, a nice big brownie, because that's one of my absolute favorite things. So what kind of things did you draw? Did you know that a lot of the readings that we hear in church and read here in our story Bible are actually letters that Paul and the followers wrote to different churches and other people? So we're going to do some of that today. Okay, you're going to want to get your white piece of cardstock. Okay, so we're gonna make a card to send to somebody. Now you can send it to you're going to fold it in half. Okay, like that, so you can make a card. Do you know somebody maybe that hasn't been to church in a while because maybe they're sick or they can't get there anymore? Or maybe you have a friend that you haven't seen in a while and you want to write a card to them. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so we're going to write on the front of it, thinking of you. Now, you younger ones, you may need some help with this. And older ones, make sure you do help, okay? So let's start with the word thinking. T-H-I-N-G. Thinking. The next word is of. O-F. Of. Okay, now the last word, you. Y-O-U. Thinking of you. Now I want you to take the time to draw some pictures on your card and maybe draw our message or some more pictures on the inside. This is the one I did. Nice bright colors, some of my favorite things, stars and hearts and the sunshine. I'm going to send this card to my friend who's getting ready to move. Who do you think you could send your card to? Did you write it to a friend that you haven't seen in a while? Or maybe there's somebody at church you haven't seen in a while. Maybe your grown-up or your priest can help you get that card to somebody. And maybe it'll make them smile. Now, before we go today, let's say our closing prayer. Loving God, thank you for being with us today. Amen. Bye for now.